And we're back. It's a good break as always.
Or is it sponsors that we're talking about?
I mean, we still took a break to listen to the sponsors.
You're stuck in the past. We do sponsors now.
Yeah.
We don't do the sponsors.
As always, Trey.
No, fuck you. You're not supposed to say that. Don't you do it.
Don't.
I just left it there somewhere at home. Evan is carrying around a tiny human being, and he said, as always. And that's how I want to remember
Very
it.
tenderly.
Yeah.
Into his daughter's eyes.
Yes. I told.
This is the new As You Wish. As always.
Yeah.
I put on
exactly.
On the description from last week's episode that he was at home taking care of future Free for All co-host Leighton Swafford.
Oh, this can't be a multi-generational show.
Oh no,
It just
absolutely! It's going to be Leighton.
I'm living
Lane,
proof.
Freeman, yeah, it's totally going to be a whole thing.
I'm several generations, actually.
Doug's going to be on the show by then. We'll probably have technology that actually make that caller.
You can't force me to have a child, all right? I don't like this.
Fine, it'll just be.
No, you can't cut me out of the show.
I can just have a child.
Listen, either get busy fucking
Or get busy
Or
dying.
get busy dying.
Spot on.
I don't think that'll pass through the censors as far as the
Get
time.
busy fucking or get busy dying.
Oh man, that would be fantastic.
You
now that I think
can't
about
cut my bloodline out of this show.
You can put some asterisks in there.
Heavy
Actually,
on the ass.
Yeah.
when Leighton gets just a little bit older, we should just like sit them in front of the camera with like in front of the microphones and just have them like talk about whatever for 5 minutes, and then we'll just like edit over our voices.
You just
on
want
the
to
show.
dub the children with horrible, horrible language?
It'd be really funny.
It would be. I still think we should start a
I would
baby
watch
fighting
that.
ring.
We should do what?
Start a baby fighting ring.
I don't know what I thought you said, but it wasn't that.
Oh no.
Not that either.
Dude, stop.
He's the one that
Let's get off of this train altogether. Just
there was
derail it,
a
please.
premiere of a new show. Watch It is about to happen. And we, or at least I, watched Incorporated, the new sci-fi show.
I watched it
Anybody else, Chuck? Did you watch
2
it?
weeks ago.
Has it been that long? It's been
They
on?
put that.
They
Sci-Fi
just-
puts up their first episode.
They do
early
sneak
every
peeks.
week.
Gotcha. Cool. Yeah. So I really liked the show so far.
Oh, it
And
was pretty great.
I've not, like I was saying before the break or before the word from our sponsors.
As always.
How was President Palmer?
Mean
Really?
and tortury.
Yeah.
No Allstate?
he tortures the fuck out of some people in that
That's
show.
his thing.
Were they in good hands, though?
Yeah.
Yeah, good torturing hands.
Yeah. He was.
He's
he
got
was
the
good-
murder hands.
He was good at using his hands to murder people.
You could say he gave them the hands.
Yeah, or the business.
Yeah.
Either one. He actually calls his hands the business, so it works out. The business. Yeah.
I mean, his role in the show so far is just he is literally like the enforcer for this corporation. The premise of the show
Good.
is like far future, post-apocalyptic, like global warming has pretty much devastated Earth. It is extreme class society or like class. What am I trying to say?
I don't know.
Holy
System?
shit,
Like a caste system?
class system. Like it is
Yes,
like the
like a
people
caste
who
system.
Oh, thank you.
He was
like
correct.
there's green zone and red zone. Like the red zone is like the shitty, dilapidated world that is not at all surviving on their own. It's the slums, the ghetto of the world. Whereas people who like work for these giant corporations who pretty much run everything,
They are the
all in
government,
green
essentially.
zone. Yeah. And Palmer is an enforcer for one of them. Basically,
Does that
he
guy
is
have like an actual name? Like, what's his real name?
yeah.
I don't know.
I actually
He is
know
President
this.
Palmer, as far as I'm concerned.
He has no first name. It's just President.
Yeah, President
What up, Prez?
Palmer.
I actually know it too, and I can't think of it right now. It's
So
so
pissing
you
me
don't
off.
know it.
No, so the kind of like what you're following in the show is a guy who works for kind of like this kind of almost like at least what looks like kind of like Messiah like character in the red zones, and he is basically undercover inside one of the like basically the biggest of the corporations.
Talking about the guy who looks like Oscar Isaac's younger clone.
Kind of, yeah. He is, but yeah, he's basically there's a few different plot lines with that, but kind of the big thing is if you become a senior executive at this company, you get to the 40th floor and you get all these like extra privileges, which he needs, and he's working on like getting himself promoted to the 40th floor, and the means by which he does that are pretty fucking creative and tense and cool. I
Yeah.
liked everything about this
It's-
fucking pilot. It was really good.
It's really well made. This is the one from Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, and like it is very slick. The acting is way better than in most sci-fi shows for sure.
It still does feel
Um,
like a sci-fi show, though.
It does to an
It also
extent.
has I don't know his real name, but the dude from the angry neighbor from the first, well, not the first Planet of the Apes, but from Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, that gets like infected. He was also in Stargate Atlantis. None of this is gonna help. Anyways, I know him from Stargate Atlantis mostly. His name was Rodney. I don't know his real name, but he plays an asshole really, really well.
I'm just gonna let you die on this one. 'Cause
No,
I
no,
don't
no,
know
no,
the
no,
character
no.
you're talking about.
The character,
Infected neighbor.
yeah, in Dawn of the Planet of the Apes,
Uh-huh.
the neighbor who's an asshole who like
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
who gets infected with the disease and is a pilot and spreads it around
I
everywhere.
need to watch
Yeah,
that
yeah,
movie
yeah.
again. I've only seen it the one
That guy.
time,
Oh, you should definitely watch that movie again.
especially before war. comes out.
Absolutely. But yeah, no, he plays like this one of like the bosses basically in the show. It's to do with
Okay.
like the comb over who gets really, really drunk.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the world building is really cool. This is one of those like far future things where like you have to get a license to get pregnant. You have to be like a higher level executive for like those kinds of things to play. The like getting an executive fired is like almost like a bloodbath for anybody who wants to move up in the company. And if you're ever found out as like defying company protocol, basically you're murdered. Like that's where Palmer comes into play.
Yeah. You
the-
get put in good hands.
Yes, indeed. The world is just really, really cool. I'm excited to see more from it. It just debuted last week, I think. There might be another episode out now.
There definitely wasn't as of this morning.
Only
because
one?
that's when I watched the
Okay.
premiere. But yeah, no, it's really, really good. I'm curious if they like do any kind of commentary on global warming, because supposedly global warming is the reason that everything is the way it is, and everything's kind of fucked up.
I'm sure in some fashion. I mean, like
I hope it's
they
not
even-
heavy-handed with that.
they
It's the
even
only thing
talked
that could ruin
about
this.
like the corporation having like the seeds that actually grow in that environment are their intellectual property, and they have like poison pills in them. Basically, that means they don't regenerate automatically after each season. That's why the farmers still have to purchase them again the next year. It's like protecting
Like stuff
their
like that's
investment.
cool. I just don't want them to be like super heavy-handed with it. I don't need, that in my awesome television, which
That's
is what
fair.
this is so far.
So it's 1-for-1.
Yeah,
Dennis Haysbert.
100% right now.
Thank you. Jesus, it was bothering me.
President Palmer.
Pedro Serrano.
So a few shows finished up as well.
Yeah,
Let's
Major
see.
League.
First of those, you know what, Chuck? Talk to me about Gilmore Girls.
Okay.
I kind of wanted to watch this because you and Boone talk a lot about Gilmore Girls and scream and do this with your hands a lot.
That is Dawson's Creek, you idiot.
Oh, I don't know. They all blend together for me.
But I actually listened to a podcast that talked about this a little bit, and they were very specific about like if you want to get the full enjoyment out of the show,
You gotta watch
should
everything.
watch everything up to it. Like that, you might enjoy it, but you wouldn't. There's a lot you're gonna miss out on, basically.
Yeah, there's a lot you're going to miss out on. First of all, Gilmore Girls, outside of being, I guess, kind of maligned for, one of those girl shows or whatever, it's incredibly cleverly written. It's the second fastest paced dialogue outside of the West Wing that I've ever seen.
I've heard the dialogue is really good in that show.
It's really, really good, and there are so many like pop culture references and stuff like that in it. It's just a really well written show. The acting's pretty solid, but for the most part, it's the writing that's very good. It's funny and dramatic when it needs to. What is happening here? Sorry.
So-
Anyway,
Quick
but-
question.
yes.
Was this not like to interrupt, but was this a show that people were like clamoring to come back in some fashion?
Absolutely.
It's-
Okay,
It
because
has
it
a
feels like this
very-
year's Fuller House, where it's just like, yeah, people are excited for it for some reason, but I don't really remember ever hearing about people wanting it back.
I don't
It's got a
think
cult
that
following that show. I feel like Gilmore Girls does.
It does. It does. A very solid cult following. And as far as I know, the the ratings for especially like the first day, most people marathon this entire season of television within. It's 4 episodes because it's called
That's right.
A Year in the Life, and it's each season, and each season's about an hour and a half.
So it's basically 4 movies.
Correct.
hearing
From what
that
I
now.
understand, the ratings on like as far as like streaming the entire series on the first day were the highest they've ever had, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it's still
No, and that's a big deal.
Yeah.
6
Um,
hours worth of TV.
Man, with
Yeah.
all- go ahead.
I was gonna say the other reason that this is a big deal, especially if you're kind of like a hardcore fan or whatever. And I don't remember her name, but the woman that created the show,
Amy Sherman Palladino.
there you go. She did every season of the show except for the final season.
Correct.
So it's
So
kinda
this is
seen
her coming
as-
back, and like supposedly this is kind of, her vision of how she would wanted
Her
to kind of tie
goodbye.
everything up. Yeah. So that's another reason it's a
It
little
really,
bit
really
deal.
felt like more of a curtain call than anything.
Which
They
is cool
brought
sometimes.
almost everybody back except for the guy who played her dad. He passed away earlier this year, Edward Herman.
Oh, that's unfortunate timing.
Well, they wrote it in that way. It's actually a major focus of the show, him
That's
passing away. But some of the jokes are actually part of that as well. But like all
Did
the
they do a Hey
characters,
Who Died?
it kind of. But like all the major characters from throughout the show are back. The main focus, of course, are the two Gilmore Girls, and then the guy that she winds up with at the end of the last season, Luke, who runs the diner, who's the best part of the show to me. Yeah.
Gotcha. I've heard some complaints about that particular.
About Luke, her
Like,
winding
just-
up with Luke.
Yeah,
Well,
I don't know anything about it.
if
but
anybody was a
That
Christopher
scumbag
guy,
Luke.
like they were pulling for Christopher, they can go get fucked. That guy's a piece of shit.
I'll keep that in mind.
Sorry,
If I were me,
Do not fuck with Chuck's stories, all right?
it's my stories. But yeah, it was a great way to send off, and it was very full circle. I would not be surprised if they did this again with this particular show because of the numbers and because of the following. And the way that they ended it was just like, what the fuck? Like, it was one of those kind of things. So,
gotcha.
I'm gonna go full Josh on this. I hate Gilmore Girls, and it's not. It's not because
That's
of
not a full Josh thing, you asshole.
I'm sorry, I did not add hyperbole.
It's the absolute worst, is what you're looking for.
you wish the show
would grind itself
would
into
catch
tiny
AIDS
Yeah,
and
there
then
we go.
give AIDS to the people who like that show and then get fucked.
We hang out with Josh a lot. We know what's up.
Thank you. Anyway, it's not because of the substance. It's not because of the following. It's because of just how fast the dialogue happens. It needs to be dumbed down for me because I listen to it and I'm like,
this
I
show's
don't.
too smart for Eric.
It's too quick, and I'm just like, I don't know what they're talking about. It's going way too fast for me, and
Wait, what did she say? Wait, what did that person say when I asked what that person said?
yeah, pretty much.
Oh shit, I'm fucked.
Like I'll
It's
be
5 minutes in.
I would be watching it with Catherine, and they
Did she
would
like the show?
yeah, she loves it, and they would say
Like her
something, and I would turn to her and ask about it, and look back, and it would be something totally different. I'm like,
What just happened?
what's happening? Why? And it like I closed my eyes and lay down and just listened to it, like trying to fall asleep while she was watching it, and like I was listening to it and just was like, God, it's even worse when I'm closing my eyes. Like I can't even focus on listening to it, and it's still
It's incredibly fast paced.
Yeah.
How they talk. But it was awesome. It was everything that I wanted it to be.
That's good.
And if I had to guess, they'd probably do it again.
My question is with like Fuller House, with Gilmore Girls, like all these kind of revivals that Netflix is doing, how the fuck have they not just ponied up the large sum of cash that they obviously have to get that Firefly license? Like, when is that going to happen?
Apparently, Firefly, like when they first got it, it was huge, but the numbers tailed off towards the end. If they did it again, like if they brought it back,
If you brought it back, it would do well.
It
I'm
would
sure,
do real well.
but
Yeah, those numbers stopped
would.
because there's only 12
and
episodes.
outside of Casey, I don't think. Well, sorry, Adam Baldwin. I don't think anybody.
No, it's Casey.
or
John
Jane
Casey.
in this particular.
God, they should bring
sense,
back
but-
Chuck.
That
They-
would be amazing.
I mean, they just cut it from their rotation, so
Yeah, they
I don't know
will.
how
Somebody should
fast
bring back
they'll,
Chuck.
Anyway,
I mean, like, yeah, they're all not like they're doing stuff, but they're not doing anything that they wouldn't also be able to do a season
Well,
of.
I mean,
of
there's
Firefly.
also there's steps that have to be
One of them's
taken
not
before
doing-
you start running. You know, a Firefly revival would be something huge, and they have to test the waters to make sure it's something that a general populace would want to invest in.
I feel like
There's so many moving
they've-
parts there, you know.
I mean, I feel like they've got enough historical numbers from that show and its popularity that they probably very much know that that show would do incredibly well for them.
Oh.
In short term, if anything, for a single season. I mean, they brought back fucking Arrested Development. Like,
That has
know-
a huge following, also.
yeah, but I see more posts from Firefly daily than any other show on
I
social
would
media.
imagine the Firefly audience is bigger than the Arrested Development audience, but Either
I
way.
think it would be closer than you think.
Oh,
you may
I'm
be
not,
right.
I'm
but-
not saying it blows them out of the water, but I'm saying like culturally relevant today. I think more people think of and talk about Firefly than any of those other 3 shows that have been revived. And
I'm still under the very strong series. If they ever wanted to bring Firefly back, it would need to be in some sort of animated fashion.
And
Okay.
I'd be okay with that.
It would be
I'd
incredible.
actually prefer that almost. But
I would not prefer it. I would rather.
But see, you also have to think too, with in specific regards to the Gilmore Girls, like they just inked that giant contract with the CW in regards to like all the
Oh, I know.
superhero shows and stuff like that, and Gilmore Girls was on the CWs.
I know, but
So
they're not
that's-
like they're not exactly losing Fox material right now, and Fox is doing nothing with the franchise. Like I'm just saying, it's weird to me. Like not weird, I guess, but it's something that I would see would be within the realm of possibility for them because Fox is doing nothing with the franchise.
you also have to figure that like they have to find somebody who's willing to like take on that project. You know what I mean? Like the amount of scrutiny and the amount of bullshit you're going to get, no matter how well you do. Another
Unless
season
it's
of
Joss
Firefly,
Whedon,
That's what
it
I'm
would-
saying. I also think, I mean, with what he's got going on right now, yes, he's incredibly busy, but with how like well in bed he is with Disney and the rumors of Disney possibly even buying Netflix, like it's totally something that I could see as a possibility.
There's like a part of me that doesn't want it. There's like a part of me that's just like what like Firefly exists, and I really like what exists, and like I kind of don't care if it comes back. I almost kind of don't want it to come back. Like I like
How is it
what is
ever
out
going
there.
to live up to expectations?
exactly.
I mean, we would
but,
have to.
you know,
we have to. I mean, Serenity absolutely lived up to expectations.
And then the kind of like, I mean, obviously you could keep going with it, but like that was fine. Like that was enough for me. But anyway, either way, I'm glad Gilmore Girls is a thing that exists for people who like Gilmore Girls.
Oh, they
It's
couldn't
good.
do
I
that
wish you would have
much.
watched that with like me and Boone instead of Josh and Evan in the room. Your experience would have been.
Yeah, and
totally
I'm not
different.
opposed to
saying
get.
anything.
Yes,
oh,
you
Evan was
were.
for sure.
But and you
Um,
were like with him. You were like that kid in A Christmas Story with that redheaded kid kept beating up Ralphie. You're like, yeah, yeah, that guy.
That
You were the
happened. I
Flavor
was
Flav of the Gilmore Girl.
You had a giant clock on. I saw the whole thing.
I couldn't tell you how many times he said "boy."
Josh, did you finish Channel Zero?
The second it came,
I
available.
figured. Tell me about this show that you like a
And
lot.
no, I do not care about spoilers because I'm never going to watch this show.
All right,
again.
yeah, this
kind of
is-
same here.
This is like borderline my favorite show of the year so far since we've done our awards. Something just like really clicked for me. We talked about it when it debuted, but this is based off of Creepypasta, which is like internet horror stories, basically.
Did you say creepy pasta?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
That's what it's called.
Okay. Go ahead.
So it's about like it's very much like an 80s horror revival in a way. It's very Stephen King inspired, but it's about a man who comes back to his hometown from his youth, in which 5 or 6 kids went missing and were killed when he was growing up, and it all ties into this incredibly creepy children's television program called Candle Cove, which is like this pirate puppet show that's just nightmarish. Like it was all the kids remember seeing it. It was only on for like 1 year, and after the murder stopped is when the show stopped going on the air as well. Come to find out throughout the length of that show, which I think it was like only 6 episodes, so it's a very short watch. But Mike, the main character, had a twin brother. He was one of the people who was killed. You come to find out that Mike, the main character, actually killed him because the show was intrinsically tied with his twin brother, who was basically the creator of Candle Cove. He had the supernatural ability to kind of make that show come alive. Whenever the parents like saw them watching it, it was just static on television. It wasn't actually a show that anybody could see. But it's creepy in a way that I don't get creeped out by things in TV. Like, I know you didn't find it scary at all, but for me, for whatever reason, it just kind of clicked on that level for me. Seeing those puppets come to life and like actually come out of the TV in a way and like being shown in this very menacing, quiet way. It's because it wasn't ever jump scares. Like, you always saw these puppets in like full life size fashion out in the world, but they weren't ever like attacking. You know, it wasn't a jump scare. It was just they were there, and everybody, or Mike, acknowledged their existence but never ran away from them in a way. He was just used to it.
Yeah, I watched the first couple episodes of this. I will grant you that it's creepy. Like, it didn't scare me, but like it definitely does creepy well.
It fucked with me.
Is it like Michael Myers in the background, sort of creepy, or is
in
is
that
that like
it's-
basic?
In that, like, it's definitely not jump scares. It's
Okay.
definitely more like almost like psychological. Like, it's meant to
Mhm.
like fuck with you on a mental level, not like just get you to jump for a minute, kind of thing.
I've
But
wanted to watch this. I just don't have
It's
the
not a
means to.
bad show. There's a lot on, and I didn't really want to keep up with it.
Yeah. I mean, if you
I
don't,
just got bored. Like, there was nothing scary or creepy about it to me. Like, some of the stuff actually kind of made me laugh. Like when he woke up and turned over, and there was that giant, one of the puppets. It was like 5 foot tall, and it had that big smile or something. And I'm like, okay.
Scary is hard to
But the
do
tooth
for everybody.
thing
You know?
was like the tooth monster, tooth baby,
I thought
or
it was
whatever.
a cool design.
It was a very cool design, but it wasn't scary or anything to me. I'm like, she's got a handful of teeth.
I mean,
She's
I've seen
feeding
the
it like
picture
a
of it, yeah,
dog. I don't know. I just didn't get it. I appreciate the fact that Aunt Petunia's still getting work, but you know.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, it turns out that the whole thing, the reason the show is coming back now when it had been gone for 20 years, is because Mike's brother is trying to come back through him. Basically, he's trying to take over his body.
Also, Netflix bought it.
What?
Never mind. That's a bad joke. The reason it's coming back, the show.
Oh, God damn it.
Netflix. Revival.
Never mind.
Gilmore Girls.
Never mind, people.
Hey, that worked.
You
All
should
right.
watch it if you
Uh,
want. It's one of my favorite shows of the year, but sure.
I was just trying to make a bad joke.
Oh, you succeeded.
Yeah, I'm good at that.
Can we call it a joke?
I mean, somebody left somewhere.
No, they
Probably not.
They
It's
did not.
probably coincidental, but still.
A show that does have a lot of good jokes that I did laugh at is a show that I just randomly marathoned on Sunday.
Like this past Sunday.
Yeah, and it's not new, but I wanted to talk about it for a minute because I watched all 10 episodes, and I've started now on season 2. Broad City. It's a Comedy Central original show.
I watched like the first 2 episodes of this because Hannibal Buress is in it.
Yeah, Hannibal Buress is in it a lot, and he's fucking amazing. He's the best part of the show.
He always is.
He has a great like scene in one of the episodes where he just like names all they're like part-time walking dogs, and they have the whole like gaggle of dogs. It's gaggle, right? When you
Yeah,
talk about
that's the technical term. It's the medical definition.
I think it was a
Um,
gargle.
a pod.
Actually,
a what?
A pod of
A
dogs.
pot of dogs.
that's Wales.
Shit.
Either way, they have that, and he just comes up and he just starts naming them all, and like I don't remember any of it now, but like I was fucking rolling. Like he gave them all the best names, and they all fit perfectly. Hannibal Buress is a great dog namer. It turns out, or whoever writes his dialogue is.
He went into the wrong line of business.
He really did.
No, he didn't.
No. So this show is just about basically these like 20-something-year-old girls who are best friends, and they're not always the most intelligent or like proactive people that have existed. It's a bit of a kind of like take on like an extreme version of millennial, I think. Good.
Is this? I've heard one person. I don't know if I believe this one person. Is it comparable to Workaholics? But like
I've
the
never seen
female-
Workaholics,
oh, never
but
mind then.
I would imagine based on what I know of Workaholics that yes, it is similar to Workaholics.
They just get into a bunch of shit that they don't need to get into.
Totally.
Okay.
Yeah, like there's totally an episode where it's her one of the girls' birthdays, and so they like go to this really fancy restaurant for dinner. Like I think like one of her parents, treats them or whatever.
Treat yourself.
And her friend is like really allergic to shellfish, but it's one of those things where like all the courses are planned out and it's all shellfish. But she really wants to eat all the free expensive food, so she's like, I know my limits. I know my body. I'm just gonna take myself to the edge, and then I've got this EpiPen in my purse.
Holy
And
shit!
she's-
They totally stole that from Archer.
Really?
Pam, she like gorges on shellfish, and she's just ow, like immediately.
That's funny.
It's awesome.
They have like a Pam level IQ at times, so that makes sense. But yeah, no, she's like her face is just like all fucked up, and like they're going, and then like it's a bunch of, I would describe most of the jokes as hijinks. Lots of hijinks ensue.
Shenanigans, one would say.
Shenanigans, one might say.
The opposite of low
um,
jinx, of course.
Of course, yes, yeah. There's no.
Goes without saying, really.
There's not even mid jinks in this, really. It's all hijinks. Yeah, redeem myself.
No, you didn't.
Oh, he did. He totally did.
You guys are the worst enablers of all fucking time.
No, but at the end of that episode, she eats all the shellfish, and then the girl goes to stab her with the EpiPen, and she fucking misses and hits herself in the leg with it, and just gets all this adrenaline and like jumps up on the table and starts screaming at people.
Yeah.
And then she like fireman carries her friend out of the restaurant.
That's funny.
I'm gonna start watching this now.
It's really funny. Also, the the kind of like more like the much more lazy of the two is also like very clearly attracted to the other one, and the attraction is not returned. So there's just like all these moments where she's like secretly trying to get her to sleep with her, and it never works out. But it's really funny to see. No, that show was me and Brittany were just basically like being lazy this Sunday and playing some Pokemon, and I forget what we watched. We watched something, and then Hulu just started Broad City season 1, episode 1.
It tries to start Broad City all the fucking time.
It turns out
for me.
it should, because I really like that show, and I'm
After-
gonna keep watching it.
After any comedy, it's like season 1 of Broad City, eh?
No,
It's really good. I just watched
it
10
does-
episodes in a row.
It does that with me and that catering comedy with Adam Scott in it, and like a bunch of other people.
Party.
Party down.
Yeah.
Dude, that show is kind of funny.
I want to watch it.
It's depressing
just-
funny. Like you watch it and you're like, oh, that happened. But I wish I was watching something mindless on Saturday. I was busy focusing.
This
On
was
Sunday?
Sunday, but
Sunday, same thing. Both.
oh
both
yes,
days.
that's fair. That's totally fair.
We did
We'll
spend
talk about
10
that
hours,
later.
10 hours watching something over the course of 24 hours.
We did. We'll
there.
talk about that later, though. And then a couple things went on winter break. Nothing big. SVU, Law and Order SVU, and all the Chicago shows are on break. I'm not going to talk about them because
Chicago shows.
Guess what?
yeah,
Some people did some crimes and some cops found them.
yeah, and also some fires were started.
And then the
There was a
firemen
really good
stopped
episode
them.
about arson this season so far. It's
Oh,
been
shit.
great.
They finally got to an arson.
And there's been arsons, but this was a good twist on the arson story.
Oh.
And also a really good episode about this guy getting caught in a chemical fire, and there was some aluminum, and it had the chick from
Aluminium.
no, it's not. No, it had the chick from what's the name of that?
Hope floats.
Goldbergs. The Goldbergs, the like next door neighbor. She was like a little girl when the Goldbergs started, which wasn't that just like 3 years ago?
Mhm.
That bitch grew up.
Turns out people grow up.
I'm probably like totally
Stop.
making illegal statements right now.
Stop.
Like, holy shit, she grew up. Anyway, yeah, so no, those shows are great, and if you like procedurals, they're the best procedurals on the television
Isn't
right
there
now.
a new one coming?
There is
Is
in
it-
January, Chicago Justice. I
Oh.
watched the fuck out of it. And then last but not least, on the TV front, anyways, Bob's Burgers.
Josh.
It doesn't work in this one.
Yeah,
That
we're
might
gonna talk
have
about
been.
Bob's Burgers every week now.
That might have been the best moment.
I'm hosting
you
this
guys-
show, and Bob's Burgers will be talked about.
Wait, what are we gonna talk about?
You took
Bob's
it over.
Burgers. All right, so Bob's Burgers.
Also, nothing will be better than
How did you not see that
I
coming?
knew it was coming.
Oh, okay.
Oh, like a freight train. No, so yeah, this season has been on point as far as
To
Bob's
me,
Burgers
The other
is concerned.
seasons.
up to this particular point in other seasons, to me, it's much better. It's up at the top.
Yeah, I don't think there's been a single episode this year that I've been like, oh, like that was good, but it wasn't anything amazing. Every episode this year has been really, really good.
I watched each
Especially-
one of them twice.
I cannot say that I did that, but now I'm a little jealous of you, and I wish you would have told me you were doing that. Now I'm embarrassed.
He's gonna go home and watch them twice more.
Whoa!
Yeah, take that, motherfucker.
Is that going to be on your
Um,
tombstone?
Take that, motherfucker. Maybe.
Here lies Trey.
All right, so on 3, our favorite episode so far this year. You ready? 1, 2, 3.
None of
The
them.
horse meat one.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Jesus. That didn't work anywhere
trying to think
near
of the
what you
title of it.
wanted. Holy
it,
shit.
It worked out exactly the way I wanted it
That
to.
was about how it should have gone.
That was
Yes.
awful, Trey.
No, so don't talk to me about my memory. I know.
The horse meat one.
Have you? Are you up to date on this?
No.
Oh, god damn it, Eric.
I just have
Piece of
missed this
shit.
entire season, so I'm glad that I'm getting this from you, so I can get the incentive to go home and watch it.
So anyway,
Watch it.
Watch it.
Why?
Watch.
Now it's just to bug you.
Because it's fun.
It is indeed.
hey, we can watch
What?
it.
Watch it.
You drove here, right?
Correct.
We'll just watch it after we stop
Okay.
podcasting.
That works.
Mm.
No, so the horse meat episode, not to spoil the whole thing, but Bob is looking to save a little money on a new meat guy, and he finds
Hijinks ensue.
Yeah, he definitely
From Jimmy
hijinks.
Pesto.
Yeah, yeah. He gets the meat guy that Jimmy Pesto's using, which was his first mistake. He should have
Correct.
known. Yeah,
Jimmy Pesto is such a scumbag.
God, that
He
guy's
just
the
wanted to
worst.
go into the restaurant to show him his new tan because he went on vacation. Check out that guy.
But yeah, it turns out that the meat is in fact horse meat, and then Bob goes undercover to try and bust the horse ring meat.
from the health inspector, who has no rights doing that at all. So they're like,
It's amazing,
they're like taping,
like a
these.
pink walkie-talkie.
So it's even worse than that. It's like this little girl's like first radio communication thing, and they shave him, and they're like, "What are you putting on me? Is that duck sauce?" He's like, "We ran out of shaving cream."
That dude's like assistant or whatever is the best.
He only says like one thing
Yeah.
ever.
It's always good though.
Also, there's like 5 different Burger of the Day titles in this episode because they continually fuck
Yeah.
things up and they keep going back to them. It's awesome.
Man, I wish I could remember, but the pun for the sewing shop next door on that episode was also on point. I cannot remember what it is now. It's
Damn
bugging
it.
me. But the
Yeah, it was
open
really
sign
good.
was totally like made out of thread coming out of a needle, and I thought that was also really cool. But yeah, there was a good.
Oh, I think it was so average sewing.
Yep. Average sewing supplies. Or
Yep.
something.
There for sure is just one guy on the payroll to come up with the
Puns?
burger of the day.
Yeah. Yeah, that show is just full of puns and it's the best. But no, there was a good Thanksgiving episode this year. There was a great Christmas episode, Halloween. Like they do holiday episodes really well.
Yep.
But it seems like this year in particular, they were on point. That freaking Thanksgiving episode, the play.
Yeah. Well, they're being the turkey. They're trying to actually get a half day out of school, so they decide to create a play, but then make it so bad that they have to stop it.
It turns out, as you would imagine, things do not go their way.
No, my favorite episode like total is the balloon war one,
Refresh
Come
my
on.
memory.
where what's his name?
Fish Odor,
Yeah,
who's
Fish-
voiced by Kevin Kline,
Fish
Academy
Odor.
I
Award
did not
winning.
know that.
You didn't know
I
that?
did
Wow.
not know that.
Fish Odor brings them all to the mansion or whatever, and
Oh
then
shit!
makes them balloon
Yeah,
water
water
balloon
balloon
fight.
Okay, yeah, I do remember that.
When you said
He-
balloon fight, for
uh,
some reason I thought of
my bad.
Macy's Day. Maybe that's because of the
There's-
Thanksgiving relevance that we just
Maybe.
talked about.
There's an episode that takes place in his house this season, the Christmas episode.
Oh
He gets
yeah.
involved in a very competitive gingerbread house competition.
It's like
Oh,
fucking
shit.
surviving the game, but with gingerbread houses.
Basically,
Guns were drawn. Let's put it that way.
yeah. This season is definitely on point. It's probably one of the better seasons
I have-
thus far. Hopefully, it keeps up that.
I
all
have
year.
2 shows to watch now.
There you go.
I'm excited.
As you should be. So yeah, that's it for TV. Let's jump on over to some movies.
Movies.
We kind of alluded to it, but Westworld obviously also ended this week. That is going to be the Geek to Geek. So if you guys have
Spoiler
finished
cast.
Westworld, yeah,
we
we
don't
are
do
doing.
enough of those.
We don't.
I like spoiler cast.
I absolutely agree with that statement.
Ruin it for everybody else.
Yeah, we clearly label it spoiler cast, so
Oh,
it's all good.
I mean, we do a spoiler cast every time we talk about a show. We just don't make it its own show.
I think we should start doing more
Yeah.
Geek to Geeks as
One of
spoiler
my
casts.
favorite.
We're gonna run
like,
out. We have to stop doing quiz shows and potlucks at some point.
One of
That
my
is not
favorite
true.
pre Geek to Geeks we ever did was the Bioshock Infinite spoiler cast.
That's
I
fair.
still remember that. It was really good.
It was.
Quality programming.
Top 5 spoiler casts. Geek to Geek.
We've only done 5
Bam.
There you go.
Freedom.
Now's the time.
because we did Last of Us also, I believe.
Yeah, that
I think
sounds
we did
right.
Last of Us. We did Iron Man 3
Yep, I remember that too.
because that's the one that was ended with that fantastic old animated Iron Man.
Yeah, that I
theme.
cannot find again for the life of me. But we are going to do a Westworld spoiler cast for Geek to Geek this week, so make sure you check that out. But moving on to movies, I think we only watched 2. I don't know if anybody watched anything else. If you did, let me know. Fantastic Beasts and where to find them.
I'm excited to hear about this.
Yeah.
Harry Potter making a comeback, sorta. The world of Harry Potter, anyways.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say J.K. Rowling making a comeback.
Yeah, no, this is a really good movie.
Yes, very much so. It, like you pointed out after we got out of there, it was slow at the beginning,
Yeah, it
But-
definitely took some time to figure out like where it
but-
was going. It felt
but
like
it
to me.
ramps up hard.
Yeah. Josh, go ahead. You're the
Yeah.
highest on this.
I'm very much the highest. It's easily in my top 10, potentially top 5 movies of the year. I love going back into that world. I thought that pretty much all the parts worked. I didn't the first half an hour was slow, yes, but I was never unengaged. Maybe because I was so excited to get back into that universe in general.
So that was why the first half hour struggled for me, is because I didn't feel like I was back in that universe.
See, to me, it felt like they were like there was a good level of like adding to that universe in that first half hour that I like, because like I know, like I've read those books without exaggeration 10 times a piece. Like
That's a lot.
Yeah, I read
It's 9 more times than me.
I went and saw Prisoner of Azkaban, and then that
8 more
very
times than
next
me.
day, I read Goblet of Fire in one day. I read Order of Phoenix the next day, and then I read the first 3 books that I hadn't previously read the following day, and then I just did that.
God, how do you pick up with that? I feel like reading
The first 3 movies were actually very accurate. They were almost accurate to a fault at a point.
Yeah, it
Like,
still
there
feels
was-
like you're missing a lot by not,
I just happened to do it, and like for me, it was great because it was actually building on the knowledge base that I already had,
Sure.
and what I had already had loved. And then like I went and got Half Blood Prince at midnight and finished it before I went to sleep that night. And I did the same thing with Deathly Hallows. Like I really love that universe. I'm planning on buying a couple tickets to Cursed Child when it comes here. It's apparently starting to tour in U.S. next
Oh,
year.
that's cool. Yeah, I would
Um,
definitely check that out.
Yeah,
Don't buy that book, by the way.
no, it's the play script, and
It's the script.
I've
And-
still heard it's good though.
and
Is it?
I mean, no, it's really good. It's just very difficult to read because there are like stage directions.
Yeah.
Oh,
on it.
okay.
But I mean, apparently in that, like, they do like Dementors flying around and shit. Like they do.
Oh, that's cool.
There's a time turner used
Nice.
on stage, and apparently the effects and the practicality of how they do it is great. For me though, there was a charm to this movie that I really liked. I do enjoy that it was a darker side. Like it definitely continues what the last 3 or 4 movies in that series had done in terms of taking it on a darker side. There's a lot of allegory
yeah.
for racism in that in general, like especially taking the American side of magic, which is almost more a Voldemort-esque type approach. Like he is shocked. Newt Scamander is shocked to find that you're not allowed to be friends with or marry a no-mage or a muggle in the U.S. magicking or wizarding world. Like it's
What about Squib?
they don't really well, no, they do talk about squibs actually, but they don't really go into that too much.
You should slow down when you say his name. By the
No
way.
Madge?
No.
Newt Scamander.
Yeah, you said Newt Scamander, and it doesn't sound like a name. Continue.
I was more like the Novag was
Yeah.
more problematic.
That
to me.
that both.
Oh, no-vag sounds like the world's worst ailment.
Got a
At
bad
least for
case of
50% of the
no-vag.
population, it's terrible. But yes, when
No,
the movie does
it's
ramp up,
100% of the population.
Unless you're
Anyway.
a Barbie doll.
the movie does significantly ramp up once you actually go into his case, and you see like that great world of like getting into all these creatures. Like the Niffler was fantastic. Kind of the character of that movie, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, there was some of the creature design was definitely really cool. I also thought most of the acting was like really on point in this.
Well,
The
Eddie Redmayne did not make eye contact at all.
I
No,
didn't notice
he-
that. I thought he was fine in this movie. This is a
No.
movie where he was able to use like
His quirk and charm.
particular quirkiness to his advantage. It worked out very well.
He does, however, like there is 90% of this movie where he is like filmed from his like left side looking down at the ground, and then he kind of gives like a sly eye up looking at somebody at the end of his dialogue. He definitely doesn't make eye contact. Like
Yeah,
I
to
feel
me that
that's-
felt intentional, but
Yeah, it
Oh,
seemed like
I think it
from the
is.
trailers at least, it seemed like that was part of his personality.
It felt like that, but also at the same time I was sitting there like, just look at him.
I mean, for the
make-
first 8 years
Yeah,
that George
yeah.
Clooney did films, I mean, he all he did was look up. Like the camera was always above his head, and that's all he did was look up.
Hey, continue.
I mean that's all I have to say. It was
He's
a
sexy
fun movie.
bitch, though.
yeah,
Lane
I-
really liked it,
Yes.
but
like
I
I,
wanna
I
see it.
I'm
in my
excited.
top 10.
about it.
Yeah, I can't wait to get back into another one. I hate that it's 2 years away. It's smart that it's 2 years away, but I hate waiting. I think the next one is apparently taking place in France, and it's about 20 years later, from what I understand. Getting into the whole Grindelwald and Dumbledore stuff should be incredibly intriguing. I hope that they don't never stop with these movies. I hope they make a Cursed Child, 2-parter or whatever, 5
It's
or 10
definitely
years down
possible.
the road at the end of this saga. Like,
I hope
to-
they never stop, never stopping.
that is true. To me, this is this is as close as you could be to going back into like a Peter Jackson directed, Middle Earth movie. Like it is almost on that level for my excitement for it. And so far, I would actually put this above where the Hobbit movies were for me. Like I like those movies a lot, but they're flaws. I didn't have that with this movie myself.
I could see that for sure. Yeah. But yeah, cool. Yeah, it's a good movie. You should definitely see it. If you're a Harry Potter fan, for sure you should see it. But either way,
Well, can we talk about
it's good.
Grindelwald's character
Sure.
design?
Yeah. We
Uh,
can. That's fine.
Okay.
My bad.
I was trying not to spoil anything.
Oh.
Now it's Eric that did it to Chuck. Everybody's gonna spoil something for Chuck. It's aliens.
I didn't spoil anything.
He said Grindelwald. I knew he was. Kinda...
He's in the movie. He's a character.
Yeah. I'm confused about what we're spoiling.
Really? Because it
No,
was totally.
If you continue to talk
No,
about
Yeah,
I'm not
it
gonna
might
say
be
anything.
spoiled.
I'm simply saying like I did not expect him to actually be in this movie.
Let's move on. Because now,
Well,
yeah, we're in dangerous spoiler territory.
All right.
So the other
I'm
movie,
trying to help you out.
and I think we've
Thank you.
all, or at least I don't know if Eric's seen this, but everyone else for sure has. Moana came out, the new Disney film.
Did you see Moana?
I have not.
You should.
I offered
You
to
very
go
much
see
should.
it with me, and he declined.
That was stupid of you.
You asshole.
He said he
Well,
was
You
not
got a thing
excited
against
for
Yeah.
Polynesians?
No.
it.
Do you like
Racist.
the sauce at Chick-fil-A?
I don't.
Yeah.
It's just sweet and sour sauce.
Yeah,
Um,
I've never been a sweet and sour guy.
Barbecue all the way at Chick-fil-A.
Buffalo.
No.
Dude, their barbecue sauce
Polynesian
is so
and
good.
then Chick-fil-A sauce to me.
Chick-fil-A sauce.
Is that
Or
just
just
Zach
don't eat at
sauce
Chick-fil-A.
/
No.
Thousand Island?
Mm-mm. You wouldn't like it. It's very honey mustard.
Oh yeah, fuck that shit.
Okay. Let's talk
Moana.
about Moana.
So should we just start with the best part?
The music.
The music. Holy shit.
It's
The
one of my
music is
favorite Disney
incredible.
soundtracks ever. Like it's incredibly well done.
We listened to that all the way to Go Get Doug and then all the way back. So I've listened to all those songs like 6 times. And
Nice.
the Moana song like is reprised several times during the
Yeah,
course of
that's
that soundtrack.
yeah. I was
That-
like, oh
that
man,
is-
Lin-Manuel likes some reprises.
Yeah,
some
that is
reprises.
definitely like and
You can say it both
follow
ways.
up.
It's okay.
Yeah, I didn't know.
It,
So I
it
was
is
like-
definitely a follow up for his like Broadway work in general. Like he definitely does a lot of reprises, and I've listened to that soundtrack a lot. Like it was the only thing I listened to for about a week after I watched that.
What's your
movie.
favorite song?
That main theme is probably my favorite thing in the movie. In terms of music.
We Know the Way.
Sure, I don't know what it's called.
We keep our
No, that's the one where they're out on the sea as like voyagers.
That's my favorite.
For me,
I need
it's
to listen to it more. I didn't realize the
So
soundtrack was
awesome.
available, or I would have
Oh yeah, it's on Spotify
been. Yeah,
And
I'll be
YouTube.
listening to that a little bit more.
or that. Yeah, there's a couple of demo songs on there that I'm actually not a big fan of. I actually really liked You're Welcome.
Your Welcome's awesome. That might be my second favorite.
For me though, it's and I can't remember the damn name of it, but it's Moana song. It's the one that is reprised so much.
Da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
God, I was really hoping you went into the Bob's Burgers song again.
But there's a version that they played during the credits of You're Welcome with Lin-Manuel actually doing the rapping part, and it's fantastic.
Well, if you go
That's
on
cool.
if you go onto YouTube, the premiere for Moana, Lin-Manuel and The Rock both sing "You're Welcome" and Lin-Manuel raps it, and then they actually introduce the girl who played Moana, who was incredible.
She was
by
great.
the way, for like a debut movie, and she's 16 years old. She was awesome, but she came out in like traditional Hawaiian like belly dancer hula style stuff,
Yeah.
and did like this really awesome like dance. It was awesome. It was really cool stuff on
That's
YouTube.
cool.
for that.
Actually, really loved the song from her dad, like one of the first numbers in the movie where
Mhm.
he was trying to get her to like accept
Consider
her
the
fate.
coconut.
Yeah, like I really like the music. I thought the visuals are spectacular.
Some of the best animation I think that Disney's ever done.
Like there is
The
a
water. What they do
water
with water in this
Awesome,
is
especially when
insane.
like baby Moana is going out and it's
Yep.
like forming
And-
around her, and the turtles and the fish are swimming through. Man,
Yep.
it's so cool.
that was great for me. I can't remember the name of the big lava monster, but that looked amazing.
the lava monster was great. I can't. It's a
Yeah.
Hawaiian name that
Yeah.
there's no way in the world I can pronounce even if I knew what it was.
easily the
Balrog.
easily the down part of that movie for me though.
Thank you, Chuck.
Was the Jermaine Clement part?
Shiny?
Yeah, shiny.
Oh, I thought
I don't
that part
love
was
that
fun.
song. The part was okay, but I don't love that song.
The song is just. I mean, if you've ever heard like "Fly the Conchords," it's 100% of "Fly the Conchords." Song.
I've also not ever really loved Flight of the Conchords.
well,
I
that
like
would
them
make sense.
a little bit, but yeah, it's
Man, this is a
I
little
thought it was
crazy.
fun.
Yeah, I did too.
It just seemed fun to me.
yeah.
It was also a little reprieve where, Maui wasn't all powerful.
It was nice to see that kind of stuff. Yeah. I loved his tattoo. Like I thought it was great that it was like kind of its own living thing, and it
Oh,
kept like,
yeah.
like dragging him along to things and like getting him to agree to things.
Maui, just in general, I thought was an awesome character.
Maui was great. I just really like this movie. This year has turned out to be incredibly solid for animation when it didn't start that way.
Well, I mean, Zootopia was like February.
And I loved Zootopia, but like everything else I had seen like leading up to like this summer, it just felt like it was a down year comparatively to like recent years.
there were a
somehow.
string of them that were okay, like Angry Birds and stuff like that. That were okay, but
Like
nothing.
Secret Life of Pets was all right.
Secret Life of Pets to me was kind of disappointing. Very by the numbers, kind of.
But then like
Yeah, I would give that movie the okay.
But
Yeah.
like Little Prince was
Little
amazing.
Prince was
Kubo was
great.
absolutely probably still my number one.
I haven't seen that. I told you I got that combination Blu-ray. It was like $16 for all 4 of those movies.
Leica,
Huh?
Leica or Leica or whatever the company.
Yeah,
thing.
Leica. Yeah, I was like,
That's cool.
Virgin. What
Leica,
are you-
here. Look, he's shorty got back.
That's the 40th song reference you've made tonight.
Okay.
However, yeah, it's,
Like your age.
I
it's
wanna-
actually very, very difficult now to like think of the best animated. It's probably Kubo still for me, but Little Prince is right there. This is right there.
Yeah.
Zootopia's right there. Like,
For me, it's Zootopia.
and Dory wasn't bad either.
I haven't seen it yet.
That movie was slightly disappointing for me.
For me, it was better than the first one,
Um,
but that's because I don't even remotely hold it in anywhere near
Yeah,
as
see,
regard as other people do.
Opposite for me. It is still a really good movie, but like it would just barely. It'd probably be number 5 in my top 5 animated films this year.
See, that's where I am with
Um,
Zootopia also.
Gotcha. Yeah, and I know you were a little bit more down on
And,
Zootopia.
and I like Zootopia. It
it's
just,
just-
didn't. There wasn't anything about it that was outstanding to me.
I've cooled on it a little bit myself. It was like a top 5 Disney movie for me when I first saw it. I really, really liked it, but I watched
Like
it
the
again
comedy
on Netflix
was
recently.
okay. The story was nothing to write home about. And I'm not saying that Moana like has this revolutionary story.
Yeah, it's pretty by the numbers.
I mean, so is Zootopia.
no, yeah, they
It's-
both
I
are,
mean,
yeah.
it's Disney. If you go into it expecting some sort of like grandiose,
No,
you know,
I mean like every
plot
single
twist and shit, you're looking up the wrong alley.
every
but
single beat of Moana was incredibly predictable, but that's okay.
yeah, but
It's an
like
animated
for
movie.
like to me, like Moana's biggest standout was the music, and Zootopia didn't really have anything that stood
You didn't
out
love
in particular.
Shakira's sweet.
Shakira.
for me, Zootopia, the thing that stands out is a little bit of the voice work, especially Judy, the main character, the bunny.
What?
Uh,
Who voiced her?
I don't know her name to be honest, but
Exactly.
that doesn't mean
dick.
shit.
What a dick!
Yeah, that is Chuck Simo, to be fair. Yeah, congratulations.
known.
You have just
Jason
made
Bateman.
that the hill that I will die on for the awards.
Jason Bateman
um,
was great though.
Yeah, he was great. And then also, I thought that movie was really funny, like significantly funnier than any other animated film this year by a mile.
The funniest part to me should have been the Flash scene, but we
But
watched
it was,
that.
like,
we
a
watched it
million
like
times.
3 months before it even came out.
So
So that was still funny. It just was. It didn't nearly hit the way it should
There's
have.
a charm to that movie, and the world building I thought was super cool.
yeah.
The whole city being like broken out into different
That
climates
was cool.
and everything
Fun.
else.
No,
I thought
I
was
really
really,
liked
really cool.
the movie, but to me, Moana stands out to me on several fronts. I thought the animation, like Josh said earlier, was beautiful, and the music is
Yeah.
it's going to win original soundtrack and song of the year for sure. There's like
I would
lots
have a
for
hard
those
time
things.
believing it would be anything else. I'm definitely
Especially given who's behind it.
it's also I mean it's in my 3 for sure for like my favorite animated
It's
movies.
tough, man.
It's edged out Zootopia for me, but Little Prince and Kubo, in my opinion, are just on different levels. And I
Man,
hate to
Little
say that
Prince
because
was
I
good.
don't
Yeah, it
want
was.
to overhype Kubo, but man, I loved that movie.
I can't wait to see it. I'm looking
Cuba,
forward
I
to
mean,
it.
you're not really overhyping Cuba, I don't feel like. I mean, it's an easy top 5 animated film and probably like top 10
That's
of
a
the last
Christmas
few years.
gift. Damn it! I can't watch it yet.
Oh,
Those
that's rough.
bastards.
Stupid kids.
Might be on
I know,
Netflix or
right?
something. You could just watch it on your own first.
Nah, I'm not gonna do that. What was that
All
for?
right.
It looked like you were beckoning me in. You're like,
So I can sneeze
Yeah.
on you.
yeah, yeah, that's what the ladies like. I chew, baby.
Oh, that was
see.
gross on like
What's up,
several
girl?
levels.
What's up, girl?
Oh, and with that,
You say God bless you, right?
we have reached the end of yet another show. Yeah. Any last words? Any parting?
It's like you
Wisdom.
never like missed a week, really. I mean, you were just buttery smooth.
Have I mentioned it's been a while since I've hosted? No, nothing. Chuck, you want to take us out?
God, I hate Stained.
That's, that's true. That's not what I was hoping you'd do when I said that, though.
Oh, okay. No,
What were you?
it's Roof.
Fucking stop it.